have made it to the detention pond, retention pond, whatever pond. But I'm gonna start, I guess, just maybe for today, trying to kind of start hogging this thing out if I can. I kind of got my lines. I came over here last week one day and tried to pull my measurements, and then I just set those stakes up kind of in the corners. I'm sure I have a lot of questions while we're back doing this. It's been a year or so, a year and a half since I originally did this, but now the engineering firm that's with this little town, I guess all along they decided they weren't happy with it, or it wasn't what they wanted. So now that this guy's been in here for a year and stuff, they've come back and argued with the city enough that they're finally gonna get their wish and make this thing bigger, even though it's worked with record rainfall. But I'm not gonna get into all that. But I got to enlarge it, and where the stakes are at and that white line is the edge, that's as wide as the bottom has to be. And from those marks, it's got to be a 3-to-1 slope up to the building. And then this over here, like I said, I've got the prints, because this side, of course, isn't going to be as tall as what that side is over there. But anyway, I've got to get it cut out, and actually from that end down this way, I'm about 4 inches too deep on what they have on the print, so I got to bring that up. And then this spot down here has got to be a foot deeper than what that is, so it's about, I think, 5 or 6 inches deeper is what it needs to be. I've also got to tear out this box and pipe, and a new box is going to go about 6 feet straight up from that one. So I kind of thought that was going to be the case, because that box was they just formed it up and poured it there, and it's not the spec. So that was one of the biggest things I knew was probably going to have to change, and kind of with the overall size. But yeah, and they've got it made. I've got to go, I'm either going to pick it up or have them deliver it when I get to that point. But for now, I'm just going to start trying to cut and kind of get this thing somewhat roughed in. I think my plan for that is about right in here. I'm going to cut that grade down, which I've got to move that back anyways, and try to get me a little bit of a ramp, and just back the truck straight down in there in the bottom and start trying to dig out. Just set the excavator in the middle and kind of dig out and load it from the sides. That's, like I said, that's my plan. I don't know, I'm kind of, if you guys have watched this channel long enough, you've figured out I kind of wing a lot of this stuff. I'm probably going to hire some trucks out when I get going on it, but I may do a couple loads myself, because we're actually taking it to another property that this guy owns, and he's going to need a bunch of fill dirt down there, and I may take the first couple loads while I'm waiting on the other company, and then that way I can tell them where the address is and to dump it right on top of my pile, and hopefully that's where it ends up. It's actually looking to be about 27 to 30 loads of material, because like I said, I got to cut from about, I don't know, maybe a little bit higher, that grade over to that stake, and from there it will be a 3-to-1 to the bottom of there. So it's going to be about 5.5 feet of material back in that corner and around to there. So it's going to start getting to be quite a bit. It's not as much on this other side, but basically it's kind of a teardrop shape now. They want like a giant rectangle, so that's what we're going to do. And I have consulted my pond specialist. He kind of came up with the same idea I did on just trying to get the truck down here in the middle and hog everything out. This has kind of been one of those jobs that's I wouldn't say I was like, I don't know, nervous, not really nervous about, but just, I guess that some of it's a little out of my comfort zone, so it's, but I mean, I want to get into more stuff like this. But at the same time, it's not something I do all the time. And I'm not really, like so much worried about digging it out, getting it to the shape. I guess just trying to more or less figure out the measurements like on the box and make sure I get all that right. But I'm confident I'll get it. It's just, like I said, it's not something I usually deal with. Really worrying about any kind of silk fence or anything like that. I'm kind of working inside here. I guess I need to put something either over those holes or over the end of that pipe. Because they're actually talking about rain tomorrow, and I was going to start on this a week ago. And they were talking like rain like every day, so I didn't want to come over here, get something opened up, and then we're flooding the neighbors or something, because that's already been an issue before. Yeah, I'll get this thing kind of dressed up, and then we'll get my truck and back it down in here. And I may just start on this one side and then just work my way down and around and see how that goes. But we'll check back in a bit. Bit of progress. Got the ramp dug, and then got this much of it. I'm just kind of cutting it out to keep my line on where the bottom's supposed to be, and then once I get down a little further down, I'll just start reaching up and trying to get my edge on that. I had a couple other trucks I was going to try to get, but that kind of fell through for today. I'm hoping maybe tomorrow. The time I got going today, taking it to and taking it down there and staging a couple of those. We kind of ran out of time, I guess. They had some other stuff to try to do around lunch or a little after today. And they couldn't get freed up, and I called Monty, and he's tied up, and I called 2 other guys, and everybody else is busy, so. As crazy as it sounds, we almost have a shortage of dump trucks around here. They're redoing several roads in town, and a big section of the highway that runs through Jobwood. And the problem is, I had one guy tell me that, you know, where we're taking it's taking me about 32 minutes by the time I leave here, dump, and get back, so it's not terrible. The biggest problem is a lot of these guys can make more money staying in town on these shorter hauls, which, I mean, I get it, I don't blame them. So it's kind of difficult to find a truck that will do hourly work, because they just can't make the same money as they would make on those other hauls. So for today, I've just been loading and hauling, and hopefully tomorrow I'll get a couple of them. I know everyone's usually mentioning to me how I could do things quicker, which I'm sure I could. I'm sure I could be a lot more efficient, but like this job, I think I marked off like a week or more. A week or 8 days or something like that. That's what I was guesstimating. I always try to plan it like worst case scenario if I got to do everything, and see how long it's going to take. So, I mean, yeah, you know, I've allotted the time to do it, every bit of it myself. I could maybe get it done a little quicker with the help of trucks and be on to the next one a little sooner. But if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't. I guess I'm kind of one of those weirdos that, yes, I mean, I do want to make more money, who doesn't? But at the same time, I love what I do. So I just, some of these I get on, I guess I don't want to, I just want to enjoy the job. I don't want to have to feel like I have to rush this one just to get to the next one to rush it. So, I don't know, call me crazy, but like I said, I really just love operating equipment. I guess that's the biggest reason that I don't want to get a bunch of guys and have a bunch of help, because I'd have to go back to being more of a manager, and I don't want to do that anymore. I wasn't real happy for a lot of years. I just kind of got burnt out on the landscaping side of it, dealing with people, and I just wasn't happy. I just wasn't a happy person, so always aggravated and stressed out because we couldn't get anything done, because I'd have 11 guys and 10 of them or 9 of them would usually show up. Usually, but there's always 2 of them, it seemed like, either every day or a couple times a week that wouldn't make it in. So yeah, I was really stressed out, not super happy or friendly to be around, and I'm a lot less. I still stress out now working for myself, but it's more how am I going to get what I got done, but it's all on me. I don't have to rely on somebody else. So it's actually helped me out, and like I said, I'm not as stressful. Hopefully I'm no longer a pain to be around, miss a beat. Do stuff like this with the loader because that was all I had, but I guess I feel like much stuff out. I didn't know how hard it was going to be to dig. Used to, I would go through tracks a little quicker. It's just a little harder on the loader to, I mean, it'll handle it. It's just trying to dig through some of this stuff. You'll end up spinning the tracks more, or wearing the cutting edge out, which, I mean, I'm doing the same thing on this one, I know, but I'm not having to spin the tracks and all that. I will bring the loader back over here, and it may be that I get this kind of dug out and piled up, and it may be easier to load with the loader. But I feel for now like I'm doing alright. I guess I look at it as with the loader, I'd have to scoop up, either track over and turn around, or kind of turn a 180. Yes, I understand the bucket is bigger on it, but you also take that time tracking to the truck, tracking back from the truck. Or this, I can just scoop it and spin around. So I mean, I don't know, I need them both here to almost time. I guess which one's a little quicker. I guess enough talking to you guys' leg up. I'll jump back in the truck and go dump that now. Well, this is where I dumped the first load, and way out there at the end is where I dumped that second one. He's got some, he's gonna have a building here and a road or a driveway in. Maybe later this year, beginning of next year, we're going to start working on. But so that's why I basically just brought these two down here, and I may run one or two more today. I'm going to have some other trucks kind of hired out to do my hauling, so I figured the easiest deal was going to be to give them the address and then just tell them I got 2 piles. I'm probably going to put the majority of them up here, and then maybe try to string 4 or 5 out, and kind of, they got to build the road up from that ditch. And so I figured that would be the easiest thing, is just, like I said, just dump a few piles down here, and then kind of give them something to base it off of on where to put the other stuff. Well, let's head back and dig some more out.